morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you guys are doing really well. Now for this video, as we're talking about England, I was hoping to try and drag out one of my old England tops. But then I remembered I've never owned an England top, so I just put on the closest kind of sporting thing that I could find. And then quickly realised that it's an NFL jersey, which is in America, not England. They're Dolphins, who are my team. England are Lions. So completely different land and sea animal. So there's nothing at all relatable to this shirt other than the fact that it's white. Let's move on. Now, next topic I asked you guys to get involved with on Twitter was England's #1 goalkeeper position. This is probably one of the most open that we've had since probably the South Africa World Cup, where we don't genuinely know who is going to be England's #1 for the World Cup. So I asked you guys to get involved on Twitter. I gave you 3 options, plus the 4th one being an other comment. So if you guys didn't agree with the 3 choices I had, you had an open option to be able to contact me and say, actually, I don't agree with that one. So the 3 that we had were Joe Hart, Jack Butland and Jordan Pickford. And then the 4th one, as I said, was down. If you guys didn't think those 3 were appropriate, you could select a 4th one. And at the point of recording this, it is very, very tight between Jack Butland and Jordan Pickford. So Joe Hart only received 7% of the vote. We had Jack Butland with 39%, Jordan Pickford 36%, and then 18% of you said an other goalkeeper. And a couple of you got in contact to say who you think could be another option. So let's get into your comments in a few moments, but let me give you my 2 cents. So who do I think should be the goalkeeper for the World Cup? Jack Butland. Simple as Jack Butland. The guy is the only one other than Joe Hart to have any sort of tournament experience with England. He has been there at all of the youth levels, knows how to deal with a tournament competition. Obviously not on the same scale as a World Cup, but he knows how to deal with it. So although he's having a kind of iffy season with Stoke, he's recovering from a major injury that he had in the previous year. And I think that, you know, when you're playing for a team like Stoke, and this is no disrespect to them, you are going to have a lot of shots at you, and you're going to have to deal with a slightly weaker defence than what the top teams would present you. I think Jack Butland playing against those type of teams, playing against the likes of Arsenal and the Man United with all the top strikers in the Premier League that we have got, people like Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Lukaku, Morata, all that kind of stuff like that. Jack Butland dealing with that can only benefit England. So that's my choice. I personally don't think that Joe Hart has a future in England, full stop. Not only at a World Cup level and for England level, I honestly don't think that any Premier League team is going to touch Joe Hart for a long time. If you can't force your way inside a West Ham team, and again, no disrespect, then you're not worthy of being in the England squad. I realise in this video I've now disrespected 2 clubs, and we're not even 5 minutes into a video, so good start. So yeah, Joe Hart is out for me. Don't think he should be in the England squad. Jordan Pickford, he was a very, very good goalkeeper at Sunderland and was on a sinking ship and kept them in a lot of games for as much as he could. Has gone to Everton and he's just been dealt another blow. I mean, Everton have been so bad this year. He's now starting to pick up on some negative traits and negative habits of way of playing. So I think Jordan Pickford should be in the squad. I don't think he should start, but I think he should use this experience. And then hopefully if Everton appoint somebody decent next year, he can have a really good season and move upwards and onwards with his career. Jordan Pickford is definitely one to look out for, but I don't think he's quite ready just yet. That's my 2 cents. Let's see what you guys said. So the first person to get in contact with Charlie Summers. Thank you, Charlie, for your comment. You said, when fit, Tom Heaton at Burnley. He's been in the England squad before, so that is a good shout. I asked what was he thinking behind it, and he said when he was playing, he was always so reliable and consistent, something you can't say about Hart. I cannot disagree with you on that, because Joe Hart over the last 3 or 4 years has been, quite frankly, poor. Even in Torino, he had his moments where he was not that good. I think it's difficult to pick somebody like Tom Heaton unless he gets back in the Burnley team. Because if you're not getting ahead of Pope, who has been very, very good this year. But if you're not getting ahead of him, I can't see how you can justify picking somebody like Tom Heaton, who's not getting in the squad at all. Because this was the whole thing about the the Euros. It was Euros, wasn't it? Yeah, the last tournament England were at the Euros. When people like Jordan Henderson and Jack Wilshere got in the team, although they hadn't played barely any football at all for England. So I don't really see how fans can go, well, Henderson and Wilshere shouldn't be picked last time around, but then Tom Heaton should be picked for this competition. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Next person I got in contact with Cookie FM saying, I voted for Pickford. Although he's conceding goals with Everton, with England, he won't have the same spineless defence. Well, if he's got Gary Cahill in front of him, Cookie, yes he will. if Gareth Southgate picks Gary Cahill, then God help us. That's a different topic though. That's a completely different topic. Is England defence that much better than Everton's? I mean, you think about it. I mean, John Stones is not having the best of seasons. He's always got a mistake in him. Harry Maguire could be in the England squad. Has had no real experience, so how is he going to deal with a World Cup? Other players, Gary Cahill's just rubbish. Chris Smalling's having a poor season. You know, Phil Jones. I mean, there's not much in terms of a defence that England have actually got. So will Pickford be able to cope with that kind of defence as opposed to what he's dealing with at Everton? I don't know. As I said, I don't think Jordan Pickford's quite ready, but thanks for getting in contact, mate. Big Nutty Dan has got in contact. He says, has to be Butland. Not been a fan of him, but he's our best goalkeeper. Have to agree. Pickford got Sunderland relegated, but Mignolet kept them up. Coincidence? No, Dan. No. Sorry, I'm not having that. Pickford kept Sunderland in a lot of games. By the time that Pickford even got anywhere near that Sunderland team, that team was dead. That team was absolutely gone, and he was just chucked in a horrible situation. But he says Joe Hart is past it and can't even get over a start. Can't even get a start over an average at best Spanish goalkeeper. Tom Heaton should be England's number 2. Again, I go back to my previous point. I don't think Tom Heaton should be in the squad unless he can beat Nick Pope to the end of the season. I like what you're saying about Butland, but the Pickford thing, sorry mate, I have to disagree with you on that one. But again, thank you for getting in contact. Terry Foreman got in contact and said Pope at Burnley, so another person saying possibly Tom Pope should be in there. A local lad from Bury who is only about 10-15 miles down the road, started off at Bury and now he's in the Premier League with Burnley. Fantastic rise. I said love to hear your reasons why. Hart and Butland are just not good enough. Don't agree with the Butland point, but Hart, yes. Pickford may well be, but Everton are conceding goals. Pope, second choice of Burnley, but has made that position his own. I agree with that. I think Pope, if he can continue this to the end of the season, should definitely be in the squad. He's been brilliant for Burnley. I mean, most people, when Heaton got injured, thought that Burnley might suffer as a result, but anything, they've just got stronger. So Pope should be in the England squad. Thanks for getting in contact, Terry. And then we've had Bakira Games say Gordon Banks. I put on Twitter, even at his age, I think he would beat Joe Hart because Joe Hart is that bad. And we've also had HDR get in contact saying Peter Shilton. HDR, thank you for getting in contact with mate. I speak to you all the time in real life, but it's nice to see you back on the web. HDR's back. A lot of my subscribers, new subscribers, won't know who the hell HDR is. Don't worry about it, just ignore me. So anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. That's the most important thing. Comment down below who you think England's number 1 should be at the World Cup. I think we've got a decent array of goalkeepers to now choose from, but it's just a case of who can stake their claim. And even the goalkeepers at the moment are coming out and saying, we want to know who the number 1 is because we want to know what we're working towards. But I don't think Gareth Southgate should tell them. I think they've got to the end of the season to prove it. Show Gareth what you can do. But as I said, let me know down in the comment section what you think. Who should be England's number 1? Hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Disagree, or hit the dislike button if you don't agree with my opinion. Bring it on. Just bring it on. Leave me comments. That's what I want. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos. And as I said, follow me on Twitter for whenever I release these, because everyone who leaves a comment, your comments do get read out, as is shown in the previous 2 videos. So leave me a comment on Twitter as well. Follow me over there. As I said, like, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. And until we see each other next time, as always, adios.